My hull was originally designed as an inter-system tug. It was retrofitted with faster-than-light drive and self-defense capability by a local militia, then purchased and adapted for salvage by Captain Nathan's predecessor 43 standard years ago. I was installed at that time.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. This is DirectedEnergy from Ball&ChainGaming. This walkthrough is a little different. As Artemis just reminded us with that line from Season 1, Episode 3, Build and Repair, she's had quite a few different looks, and these three she had even before any changes made during the series itself. We're going to take a look at these, focusing on the one the AI was installed in. Externally, the paramilitary version of the ship is almost identical to the Salvager, the only difference being a rocket launcher and a laser antenna. The tug has some significant differences. The hammerheads aren't there, instead we have magnetic clamps to grab onto containers or other vessels, dock and pull them to where they need to go. Also, the tug did not have a lower deck. The lower deck was added by the Tumbleweed Defense Force to enable the vessel to carry more people and man more turrets. For the Tumbleweed Defense Force, like all military organizations, does not use AI aboard their starships. And of course we have Captain Nathan's Artemis. The Salvager, you know her, you love her, CIV Artemis. She's not very big. Artemis is a very small vessel, not designed for long-range missions. She was designed to, originally to be a tug, and after she was refit, only to go on short excursions with a small crew. Here we go. We're gonna go inside, and we are faced with the Welcome Aboard plaque. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. CIV Artemis. CIV, in case you did not catch it in episode 5, stands for Commercial Interstellar Vessel. Basically, she's a vessel privately owned for the purpose of making money. Interstellar because she has a jump drive and is able to jump between stars. And vessel because, well, she's a ship, not a rock. Here we go. So we're going to go around. We're going to take the engineered to Trevny path over here. And we are going to squeeze by the cryopod, and the other cryopod, and the medical bay. Her refits were obviously made to make the most use of space. Her interior isn't the most impressive. There are no crew quarters or any accommodations that way, as the ship was always supposed to dock up at the end of a short run. And we are faced with the engineer's console. The engineer's console is right in front of us. It's the aft of the ship, and there up above us is the jump drive that was so rudely destroyed by that war form. Yes, right in the ceiling. I'm sure there's no radiation hazard. If you'll follow me to the bridge. By follow me, I mean continue watching. Haha, I'm sure you're riveted. Here we are on the bridge. The bridge did not last long in the series. You only see it in episode 1, a little bit in episode 2 with a giant hole in it, and in episode 3 it gets completely removed from the ship. We're only showing you, by the way, the original version of Artemis, because we're not sure that Artemis is done changing her form, so we don't necessarily have a final form of Artemis, and even if we do, I wouldn't want to spoil anything. You can see over here the captain's chair. That's the engineer's console there. And over here we have the pilot's console. It's where George would hang out and pretend to fly the ship while Artemis did all the work. But it was okay, because George liked it that way, and so did Artemis. We're gonna head back down. I know we've already seen this down here. We're gonna go down, 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 down. Fly around through here. And look up above us, and you see we have an access door here. This is the door into the inner workings of Artemis, and we recognize this area as where Artemis lives. There she is. This is an earlier version of the blueprint before I had added some of the background and the QPU sign and some of the lighting that made the ship a little bit easier to shoot in. I detailed this area right after, actually not right after, but during the shooting of episode 3, because I wanted it to feel a little bit more closed in rather than have that opening out to the cargo bay. Plus, that cargo container is not pressurized at all. So I had to pressurize this whole deck in here and make it a little bit more cinematic. So there's Artemis. She doesn't have her QPU thing, but I liked the idea of having a central computer core rather than just, oh, she is the ship. I mean, she is the ship, but she could also be removed from the ship and control a different ship. So it's an advantage AIs have over humans. We can't pull our brains out and put them in somebody else's body. AI can very easily do that, as long as their QPU gets moved. Anyway, she's powered by one large reactor. A lot of power for such a small ship. All of her internals, you can see the nanobot build and repair modules here and there. All of her internals are really stuffed into this middle deck here. This is not designed for people to be walking around in. It is really more of a walkway to be able to repair things. You can see the thrusters to either side. Artemis is a very small ship as vessels go. Come back down here. And that pretty much concludes our tour. I hope you enjoyed your time here. I know I enjoyed showing her off. I love this ship, and I love what she's turned into, and I love what her story has become. I really am glad you guys are enjoying this enough to want to hear more about Artemis, and hope you enjoyed that little walkthrough. This week, our charity is the Planetary Society. It was founded by Carl Sagan, Louis Friedman, and Bruce Murray, and is now run by Bill Nye. It empowers the world's citizens to advance space and science exploration. A link to donate is in the description. Thanks for joining me for our tour of Artemis. See you next time.